All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, this is Pastor Dowell. Listen, I need to really, truly have a good, serious, spiritual discussion with you. You know, the truth is, we can try to ignore it and act like that it's not there. We can act like that evil is not all around us and that there are not evil people around us that are submitted to Satan at his will. But when you look at Hollywood and you see the blatant devil worshiping that really goes on at concerts, the agendas that they're putting out, it wasn't no more than maybe a few years ago that Beyoncé purchased a church, I think, for about $850,000. And we know that people like Tom Cruise and all of them was into Scientology, and you can only imagine what's being taught. As a matter of fact, the churches that are out there, they're off limits to the public. Only Hollywood stars, alleged stars, can go to these churches. Think about that for a second. Satanism is flat out blankly in our face. We see the moral decline. We see the spiritual bankruptcy that we're faced with on a continual basis, daily basis, just about in this world. We're watching the agenda that Hillary Clinton and all of them had when they was talking about it's just the children. Well, now those children are grown now, and we can see the decline of civilization. We clearly see what's happening to those of us that have been around for a while. Now, you have to understand, this generation don't suspect that anything is going on. They don't think anything is evil. What's really disturbing more than anything is, you have people out here like me that has literally spent my whole life doing everything for the benefit of the kingdom of the Most High. And, you know, I have probably about 8 or 9 communities that I oversee. Just a few of them I'm in charge of. We're instrumental in people getting free, getting out of debt, making a positive impact in their lives. We homeschool our children. And the people are just living free, living the dream, living the life, the way that it should be and the way it's supposed to be in the time that we're living in. And very few people out there are actually preaching and teaching the actual words of the Messiah, Jesus the Christ, Yahshua HaMashiach, and his agenda. And very few people, they just simply not interested in living it. They're not interested in the sacrifice, and they're not interested in the commitment. They're not interested in what it takes. When it says, come out of her, my people, and be ye separate, saith the Lord. And he tells you over and over again, when you do that, you touch not the unclean thing, then I will receive you. They're not interested in come out from among them and be ye separate. They're not interested in that. It's just like them passages of scriptures they ignore. But just like my last week's radio broadcast, you got people calling in, asking me nonsensical, idiotic questions over a word. And because I totally disagree with them, they go out and they make videos. Pastor Dowell exposed. And when you look at all this stuff, their life is meaningless. There's nothing about their life that brings an impact, a positive impact with anyone. And this is the time where all the believers, rather than sitting out there attacking each other over a little trivial stuff, man, we got Hollywood, hip-hop, the forces of hell, demonic spirits and rock and roll, and all these people just flat out telling you that they sold to the devil, they worshiping the devil. Now they're buying churches. You can only imagine what Satan is getting ready to set up for right now. And now you got Beyoncé buying churches and stuff. You've seen the faces, the videos of how she channels spirits. And they look for spirits of the dead and the spirits of Mother Mary and all kinds of stuff. And this doesn't alarm you. This doesn't disturb you. You mean tell me you can go to church and never have, and never, according to Ephesians 6:12, it tells you, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers or rulers of darkness of this world, spiritual weaknesses in high places. You mean tell me that don't disturb you, that you have mental assent faith, but yet you spend no time not only defending your loved ones from Satan's kingdom, but attacking it in spiritual warfare. Nobody I hardly meets that say they believe. Nobody cast out devils. Now, the ministry I do, we do this stuff. Nobody is trying to get people free or delivered, set the captives free, just like the Messiah said. But people are contented being religious, put more emphasis on garments and how you look or what color your skin is and all this stuff. And while the whole time you're displaying the works of the flesh. It's just so sad. Everything is turned upside down. The focus and the reality is that, man, children are being lost left and right. And that's why we live set apart. We train our own children. Because if we don't do it, there ain't going to be no more morality left in this world. United States of America, you know just as well as I am, it's doomed. And they keep getting the children, don't they? The sexual revolution is on. People don't know if they're coming or going. I tell you, it's bad. So now we got Beyoncé purchasing churches and stuff, and I can only imagine what's preached up in there. I guarantee you one thing, Pastor Dowell won't be invited. Pastor Dowell ain't even invited to the Christian churches. Because when I do, I tell them the truth about their pagan satanic worship, and then they get all upset with me. And rather than going and doing like 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says, which says, prove all things and hold fast to that which is good, people are not interested in dialogue or debate. They rather just get mad, angry, upset, double down on their position because they're comfortable with their tradition. When Colossians 2:8 says, you beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men and after the rudiments of the world and not after Christ. There ain't nothing in this world. Everything is going from bad to worse. Am I the only one that sees this? So what is it and what kind of spirit that is that's got everybody who believes, even if it's just a little bit? You already know you can't get people to agree on everything. That's the reason why we have little sanctuaries, little pockets all over the place. It's supposed to affect positive change in your place, but people, man, they're just so interested in this visceral attitude just to attack anyone that names the name of Christ. But everybody that's religious out there, Messianics, Hebrews, Hebrew roots, or whatever you want to call them, they all adopt a hands-off attitude against Satanism that is blatantly right out here in your face. And people just ignore it, even though there's been many people who have literally had their eyes open. Let's say just literally have had their eyes open to how serious the demonic kingdom is, because when we have power over it and we deliver people from it and we set the captives free, they get that experience, they receive healing. And then they go back, wipe their mouth, act like ain't nothing ever even started. I'm like, what in the world? They center attention, focus on more about saving their hide rather than saving their soul. It's bad. Well, the deceiver is definitely working, and he's working right there amongst religious people. But, man, I'm telling you right now, this country in trouble when Beyoncé has a church. They're in big time trouble. And you better believe the money gonna pour in there, though.